Alright guys, so we are back. We are here with another edition of me doing a trailer breakdown in my car on my lunch break in the middle of a school day. Hopefully, as usual, I have time to eat lunch by the end of this, but chances are probably not, because last time I did not. But anyway, we got our first official trailer here, our teaser trailer from Marvel Studios, The Marvels, which of course is the sequel to Captain Marvel. It's Captain Marvel 2, but this time we got some help because we got Kamala and we got Monica Rambeau. This was good. It was a good trailer. I mean, it didn't really give you a whole lot to go off of, and I definitely wouldn't say like it gets me super hyped for it or anything, but it's a nice tease to get us like, okay, yeah, this movie comes out in November, something to get excited for or look forward to, because this is our first official footage for this movie. So that right there is really exciting. So I'm gonna waste no further time, so hopefully I can, eat lunch at some point. Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into this and break down the official teaser trailer for The Marvels. So we open up with this establishing shot right here, which is quite interesting. So this is both super exciting and confusing at the same time, because this is our first look at the Sword Space Station. But at least I thought it would be the Sword Space Station, because it is called here the Saber Space Station. So of course, we were introduced to, in Marvel Studios WandaVision, the Sword organization, which was kind of like the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D. And so we thought that was going to be like the big thing going forward in the MCU. And we thought that's what Nick Fury was going to be a part of in Secret Invasion, and whatever was going on in that post-credit scene for Spider-Man Far From Home. But now it's being called Saber. So Saber is another organization in the comics which is very similar. I'm assuming it's basically just going to be because in WandaVision, Sword was, Hayward and like all those people, they were kind of evil and like bad guys. So they're just calling it Saber. I mean, Sword and Saber literally mean the same exact thing. So I'm assuming it's just, for get away from the bad image of Sword. They're like, hey, now we're Saber. So we have Saber right here, the Saber Space Station. We have Nick Fury, which has been a thing that hasn't really been super publicized about this movie. But yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is Nick Fury in this movie. It comes out after Secret Invasion, so I'm assuming it takes place after Secret Invasion. So, that line in the end of the Secret Invasion trailer when Nick Fury says, all right, it's time for one last fight. Looks like he will live on to fight another day. But he's out there with Captain Rambeau, or, Monica Rambeau, but he just keeps saying, Captain Rambeau, Captain Rambeau. So yeah, she's out there doing some space missions for Saber, and of course, she does the same stupid thing she does in WandaVision. She sees the magical force field energy thing. She's got to touch it, and then that's where chaos ensues, because then she disappears, and then you hear the screams of Kamala, and this was hilarious. Just Iman Vellani is so perfect. Just perfection when it comes to casting for Kamala in the MCU. She's so good. She's hilarious. And just the fact that she is literally zapped to and teleported to the middle of space. She's freaking out, but then she sees Nick Fury and she's like, oh my god, it's Nick Fury. Like, that's hilarious. And then she's just floating off in space. And meanwhile, Monica Rambeau is transported elsewhere to a different planet, maybe even a moon. And you can see here that she's being attacked by a bunch of these soldiers. These kind of look like Kree soldiers, because you can see some of them do have blue faces, and just looking at the helmets and stuff like that. So harkening back to the first Captain Marvel movie. And we have Monica Rambeau using her superpowers as well. Of course, she got those established at the end of WandaVision, so super excited to see her fully become Photon in this movie. And then we get our shot actually from the post-credit scene of the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series, with Captain Marvel all of a sudden showing up in Kamala's bedroom and being like, what the... Like, where am I? And of course, she sees all the memorabilia, the posters of herself, because she's a big fan. This was an interesting touch here, because everything is being flipped upside down and switched around. So we got Studios Marvel. Nope, it's Marvel Studios. And then we get to see the Khan family, which is super exciting, because Kamala's family was one of my favorite parts of the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series. I really had a lot of fun with that show. It is a little interesting that this guy who plays her father there's some questionable stuff about him has come out, so I'm a little surprised they didn't replace him or recast him or anything, because he's a bit controversial right now. But it is just great to see the family is back. You got Nick Fury and Monica Rambeau just showing up at their doorstep, questioning like, okay, what happened? What is going on here? You can see the destruction around. You got, of course, her mother, father, and brother there. And again, Kamala, she's great. Iman Vellani, I love her. Monica is talking about her powers. She can manipulate light energy, and so she can do all this stuff that's crazy. And basically, all three of these characters, their powers are now officially entangled. And so they ask what Kamala can do, and she's like, oh, you know what? I can just show you. So she whips out the bangle, and the bangle, we find out, is the source of all this problem. So every time she uses the bangle, she gets zapped somewhere else, and then the other person gets zapped into her place. So that's when Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, she shows up, and she's like, oh. So this is clearly not good that they're dealing with this here in this situation. Monica and Carol, we know, actually they have a bit of beef between the two of each other from what we saw of Monica Rambeau's introduction in the WandaVision Disney Plus series. And Kamala is then zapped to, I'm assuming, maybe Saber, maybe it's a Kree space station, but either way, some bad guys show up, and she is zapped next to Goose, of course, the Flurkin, the adorable cat that scratched out Nick Fury's eye in the first Captain Marvel movie. She gets her full-on Flurkin on. The squid tentacles comes out of Goose's mouth, and Kamala is just freaking out about that. So that was a hilarious exchange here. And then we also get a spaceship. We got our whole crew teaming up here for this adventure. This I do not know about. This is another planet, because this is like a galaxy-spanning conquest that we're going on here. So this is going to be a planet we're going to take a little pit stop on. I believe this is the musical planet that we have been hearing a bit about. I love seeing Monica Rambeau in action here. You have, of course, her official photon outfit and her powers in use as well. Kamala using her powers. And I love this, again, bringing the Pakistani culture into this. Another great thing I loved about that Ms. Marvel show. Also, Captain Marvel being switched places and her being put right into the middle of this musical number. This is an interesting shot for me right here. So you have Monica Rambeau. She's falling from the sky. I'm not sure if she's flying. Can she fly? I don't know. We'll find out. But she catches somebody. And this could just be some random person. It could even be Kamala. But just want to throw this out there. Could this possibly be America Chavez? Because it's a really blurry shot, but from what you can see, it looks like this person is wearing a blue jacket with like some red and white details on the back. So very reminiscent of America Chavez's jacket from Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. Just an idea, just throwing that out there. We got some more Nick Fury, I'm assuming, at the Saber space station. And we also have our first look at Park Seung-joon, I believe is his name, something like that. He is the prince of this musical planet. We got a whole flood of Flurkins, and we have our first look at the main villain of this movie, played by Zaw Ashton, who of course in real life is married to Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki. So she's gonna be our main villain here. We don't know a whole lot about her, but according to My Time to Shine Hello, this is Dar Ben. So this was a character in the comics, and she's being brought in here for a very important role, because as you can see, she does have the second bangle. That was something touched on just a bit in the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series. Kamala, of course, has the one bangle, but there is a second bangle out there, and Dar Ben has it, as well as also, if you look at her right hand, she is wielding the hammer of the Accusers. Of course, Ronan the Accuser had that same hammer in Guardians of the Galaxy, and as we saw some of the other Accusers in the first Captain Marvel movie, that they had those hammers as well. So we have our first look, our team-up shot here of the Marvels. Great to see them in action. Not a huge fan of Kamala's new suit here, but I'm liking everything else we're seeing. We get to see the whole team in action and everything. We do have our first look at Carol's new suit as well. She kind of got a little bit of a new suit at the beginning of this movie, as we saw in that Ms. Marvel post-credit scene, but this is a new suit for Captain Marvel, which, according to Can We Get Some Toast, apparently this was a scoop put out in October that I didn't even know about. Little scoop for the Marvels. When our heroes are on the musical planet Aladna, Prince Yan, Park Seo-joon, gives everyone a costume upgrade, and Carol gets Janice Veld's Captain Marvel suit, like this one here. It's not sparkly, but the design is pretty much one-to-one. So that's really cool seeing that in action, and then I love Kamala's exchange with the team here at the end. Like, are we a team now? And she just is getting super excited about that. So guys, this was an interesting trailer, nice little teaser trailer here, giving us our first look at Marvel Studios' The Marvels. Again, this movie is coming this November. It was supposed to come out in July, but spacing things out a bit, delays, reshoots, all that stuff. This movie is coming this November. I'm really excited for it. I'm really excited to get a full-length trailer at some point. That probably won't come until later on down the line, but this is a nice first look, kind of sneak peek at The Marvels. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about this official teaser trailer?